Hello friends, good morning once again. This is our third video from chapter number 1. And in this third video, we are going to talk about the network hardware. Okay. So, in the previous two chapters, we talked about what is meant by computer network, what are the goals or applications of the computer network that we discussed in the first two videos. In this third video, we are going to talk about the network hardware. We know that the network is classified into two different things. Either the network is classified according to the hardware, or second thing is nothing but network is classified according to its scale. So classification of the network we can able to perform by two different ways. Number one is nothing but the transmission method. And number two is nothing but the network scale. In transmission method, we are having two different types of networks. Very first is nothing but the point-to-point network, and second is nothing but the broadcast network. So what is mean by point-to-point network? Friends, the figure is going to show you what is meant by a point-to-point network. In this figure, what we are having? In this figure, two different computers are there, two different computers are shown, and that two different computers are connected with the help of dedicated link. What is mean by dedicated link here? Dedicated link means only these two computers are going to use this communication channel. This link is shared in between only these two computers. Only these two computers are going to use this communication channel or going to use this link. So absolutely whenever only these two computers are going to share this link, absolutely there is no problem of traffic. Okay, they can easily share this link at whenever they want. They can easily share this link also. So after this point-to-point network, there are obviously certain advantages and certain disadvantages of this point-to-point network. But first we will understand what is the second type of network. Okay, advantages of the point-to-point network. These are the simple one, cheapest and effective and less complex, and it is a less complex. Now disadvantages are also there. Okay, in the disadvantages, very first disadvantage is nothing but it is more expensive. A question may come in your mind. In the advantages, I am going to say that it is cheapest, and in the disadvantages, I am going to say it is more expensive. It is just because of it. It is just because of I am going to compare this with the help of second type of network, and that is nothing but the broadcast network. As compared with the broadcast network, point-to-point networks are more costly. Okay, as compared to the broadcast network, point-to-point networks are more costly one. Okay, so it is impractical also. Why it is called as the impractical? One very simple example I am going to give you, and that is nothing but in point-to-point network, every computer is connected with another computer with a dedicated link. With a separate link we require. Okay, so if in a network, if we are having 10 different computers, then the total number of cables required is very large. Okay, there is one formula, and that formula is n into n minus 1 divided by 2. So n is nothing but the total number of computers. This formula once again we are going to discuss in the mesh topology. Okay, in this lecture only. So obviously there are certain advantages and disadvantages of the point-to-point network. What you are going to remember is you are going to remember only about in a point-to-point network, computers are connected with the help of dedicated link. That's it. Second type of network is nothing but the broadcast network. Okay. Second type of network is nothing but the broadcast network. In the broadcast network, you can say that broadcast networks support two different modes of operation. Broadcast networks are going to support two different modes of operation, and that modes are, number one is nothing but the broadcasting and number two is nothing but the multicasting. So what is meant by broadcasting and what is a multicasting? Very simple. One simple example I am going to give you. I am communicating with you all. When I am going to say that I am communicating with you all, it is nothing but the broadcasting. It is nothing but the broadcasting. Radio is broadcasting. What is meant by multicasting? Multicasting is I am communicating with many. I am communicating with many and not all. There is a difference in between the many and all. I hope everybody understand. What is broadcasting? Broadcasting is nothing but the I am communicating, the sender is communicating to all. Okay. So this is called as the broadcasting. What is meant by multicasting? In multicasting, the sender is communicating to many recipients, many receivers, and not all. Okay. So in the broadcast network, you can say that we are having only one communication channel. In a broadcast network, we are having only one communication channel, and that single communication channel, that one communication channel, that single communication channel is shared among number of users. That single communication channel is shared among number of users. So what exactly this figure shows? This figure shows that there is one server in a computer network. There is one server and three different workstations are there. That server and these remaining workstations are going to share a single communication channel for their communication. Such type of networks are called as a broadcast network. Obviously, these networks are cheaper than the point-to-point network. Okay, here is a difference. Difference is given in between the point-to-point network and broadcast network. That difference is given. So in the first difference, I am going to say that in point-to-point network has more than one communication channel. It may happen. Okay. So more than one communication channel may be there. Whereas in broadcast network, we are having a single communication channel, and that single communication channel is shared by number of users. So in a point-to-point network is a connection of routers. Okay, what is meant by router? Always remember, router is nothing but the internetworking device. Router is nothing but the internetworking device. Here I am introducing one more concept, and that concept is called as the internetworking device. So what exactly the internetworking devices are? Always remember that whenever I want to connect two or more networks with each other, at that time I needed the internetworking devices. At that time I needed the internetworking devices. Okay. So router is one of the, what router is going to do? In the third chapter, we are going to talk much about routers. So what routers are going to do? Routers are going to route the data traffic, as well as routers are going to connect the different types of networks. So it is a point-to-point connection. Whereas a broadcast network is a connection of host and repeaters. Okay. So repeater is again one type of internetworking device which is going to work in a physical layer, whereas the routers are going to work in a network layer. What is this physical layer? What is this network layer? That we will discuss in the second chapter. Number 3, limited number of connections is possible in point-to-point network, whereas in bus network, there is no limit. Okay, there is no limit. Number of, you can say that bus network means, I want to say in a broadcast network, there is no limit. Okay, after that, number 4, it does not require extra cost to set up a network. Okay, whereas extra cost is needed in a broadcast network. Okay, so point-to-point networks are more secure than the broadcast network. Okay, very simple. In point-to-point network, the data which I am going to send to you is by using a dedicated link. That link is shared in between you and me only. So naturally that data will be what? Secure one. Whereas in broadcast network, the data which I want to share to you is shared among all the users on the network. So just because of this, you can say that broadcast networks are not that much secure as compared with the point-to-point network. So this is what the difference. Okay, so many times this question was asked in the university examination, what is the point-to-point network and what is the broadcast network, differentiate in between them. So very simple. Once again I am going to repeat, in a point-to-point networks the computers are connected. The computers are connected with a dedicated link, with a broadcast, with a dedicated link, and they are going to share the data by using their dedicated link also. Whereas in a broadcast network, all computers are going to share a single communication channel. Whereas in broadcast network, all computers are going to share a single link, or even you can call it as a a single link or a single communication channel also. Okay. After this, our next topic is nothing but the network topology. In the hardware, this is again a very important concept, network topology. So what is meant by topology? Topology means, a network topology means the way by using which we are connecting the computers in a network. The way by using which we are connecting the computers in a network is called as a network topology. So how physically we are going to arrange, all the computers in a computer network is nothing but the network topology. Basically, there are two different types of topologies. Number one is nothing but the physical topology, and number two is nothing but the logical topology. In the physical topology, there are bus topology, star topology, mesh topology, tree topology, ring topology, and hybrid topology. Okay. So in a physical topology, I am going to say that bus, star, mesh, tree, ring, and hybrid, these are nothing but the topologies which comes under in a physical topology. Whereas in a logical topology, we are having a token based topology or shared media topology. Now we will discuss all these topologies one by one. So very first is nothing but the bus topology. So basically, what exactly shown in this figure? Okay, you can see there is one communication channel, there is one link, there is one communication channel, there is one link, and in that communication channel, in that link, in that communication channel, in that link, or that link is going to connect number of computers as well as other devices. For example, printers are also, one printer is shown, printer is also connected. Okay, so but all they are going to share a single communication channel. Just now we discussed such type of topology, such type of network is called as a broadcast network. Okay, so bus topology is nothing but one very good example of the broadcast network. So in bus topology, all nodes are connected to a central cable which is called as a bus. All nodes are going to be connected by using a central cable, central link, which is called as a bus. This bus is also called as a trunk or something. Sometimes it is also referred to as backbone cable. Naturally, there are certain advantages as well as disadvantages of this. Every topology is having certain advantages and disadvantages. In this figure, here two different terminators are shown. Okay, we cannot leave the cable open one. Okay, we have to terminate it by using there are certain devices. The devices are called as a terminator. So by using that, we can terminate this. So terminators are used. There are T connectors. T connectors are used to connect the device, whether that is a computer or printer, to the central cable, to the bus backbone. Okay, so this is a bus topology. Advantages are easy to install and set up, requires less cabling. Since less cabling is required, it is very cheaper. Okay, fast as compared to the ring topology, and sufficient for small network. But there are certain drawbacks. Nowadays, always remember, nowadays nobody is using bus topology. Okay, bus topology is only used as a backbone nowadays. Okay, so disadvantages are there. We cannot connect large number of computers. Then if a cable is broken, if a cable is broken, if a link is broken in between, then the entire network goes down. Then the entire network goes down. There is also one problem. There is also another problem, and that problem is of collision. In a bus topology, there are chances of the collision. Now, what is meant by collision? Collision is a new concept for us. So, collision is nothing but the accident of the data packet. When, okay, consider that you and me are nothing but the two different computers on a same network. Two different computers on the same network. At one particular time instant, T, you and I both are sending data simultaneously. Both are sending data simultaneously. There is only one channel, only one road, only one route, okay, only one link which is shared in between you and me. So what will happen? Naturally, the accident of the data packet will occur, and the accident of the data packet is called as a collision. So there is a chances of collision. That is a drawback. After that, heavy network traffic can slow down the entire network. If the traffic increases on the bus topology, it is going to, if the traffic increases in the bus topology, it is going to decrease the speed, and it is used only for small networks. These are the disadvantages. After that, we are having a ring topology. Okay, so in the ring topology, if okay, what is shown in the figure, very simple. All computers are connected in the form of what? A ring. All computers are connected in the form of ring, and in the figure we have shown the flow of messages also. Nowadays nobody is using the ring topology also. Naturally, there are certain advantages and disadvantages. In the advantages, we can say that requires less cabling, less expensive, adding or deleting a device is small, adding or deleting a device is easy, then reduces the chances of collision, because in a ring topology at a time only one user is going to transmit the data. So obviously there is no collision of the data. So each computer has equal access to the resource, and there is no need for network server to control the connectivity between the workstation, who is going to communicate, etc., etc. That is absolutely no issue. So its performance is better than the bus topology. You can say that it is faster than the bus. Okay, fault isolation is simple. But there are again obviously certain disadvantages, and in disadvantages, if one node goes down, you can say that the entire network will be down, slow in the speed as compared to the star topology. Then reconfiguration is needed when we want to add a new node. Traffic is unidirectional. Okay, there is a concept, and that is nothing but the unidirectional and bidirectional. Unidirectional means A to B only, and bidirectional means A to B and B to A. So it is, this network is dependent one, etc., etc. So after this, we are having the third topology, and that third topology is nothing but the star topology. You can say that nowadays 99% users are using the star topology just because of the speed and security. So in a star topology, what we see in the figure, there are number of computers, and all that number of computers are connected with the help of one device, and that device is called as a switch or hub. That device is called as a switch or hub. I repeat, our next topology is nothing but the star topology, which is the very famous topology and which is used. You can say that more than 99% of the users are using star topology. So what is this star topology? In a star topology, every device is connected by using a point-to-point link to a central controller. Okay, this hub or switch is called as a central controller. You can see that this computer is connected to this central controller by using this dedicated link. Okay, so this link is shared in between this computer and this switch. Okay, so this is a dedicated link in between these only. So entire communication is routed entire communication is routed by using this hub or a switch only. Okay, advantages: easy to reconfigure, install, centralized management is also there, robustness, it means if one link fail, entire network is not going to affect, so fast as compared to any other topology. So multiple devices can transfer data simultaneously, collision won't occur, traffic problems are eliminated, etc, etc, etc. So isolation of the fault is also very simple in the in the star topology. But there is one biggest disadvantage, and that disadvantage is if the switch fails, if the central controller, that switch or hub fails, the entire network will goes down. This is what the only disadvantage. And secondly, you can say that more cabling is required, and since more cabling is required, it is expensive than the bus topology and ring topology. But just now I told you that bus topology and ring topology, for small networks nobody is using. Bus topology is used only as backbone nowadays. Okay, ring topology we are not using. So all of us are shifted from all these topologies to a star topology. After that, mesh topology, which is a very good example of point to point network. Okay, so in this lecture only we discuss what is the point to point network. See, in this figure you can see that all these computers are connected with each other by using a dedicated link. And I also told you the formula. That formula is n into n minus 1 divided by 2. It means if in a computer network there are 10 different computers, the total cables which are required is nothing but what? 49. Okay, so 49 cables are required, total cables I am talking about. Okay, it is an expensive one, but it is very secure one. It is an expensive one, but it is very secure one. If one link fails, absolutely no problem, we can have another route. Okay, so all these are nothing but the advantages and disadvantages. So each connection can carry its own data load. Okay, eliminate traffic problem, it is a robust one. If one link becomes unusable, we can have another option. Privacy or security is a best one. So point to point makes the fault isolation easy and simple. But biggest disadvantage is nothing but its cost, because more cables are required, the costing of this topology is much higher. Okay, installation and reconfiguration is also very difficult. If we want to add a node, single computer, to a existing network, it becomes very difficult. Okay, so all these are disadvantages. So because of this disadvantage, nowadays nobody is using this topology. So entire comparison is given. The entire comparison is given in this chart. Okay, here I am using the first component as a structure, then second as a expensive one. Sorry, host existence, not expensive. It is a host existence. Third is nothing but the connection between the nodes. Fourth is a host failure, ease of troubleshooting if a problem occurs, what to do. Then ease of adding and removing the nodes, and number of nodes when extending the network. So entire difference is given in this chart. So I hope all whatever we discuss is clear to you and it is understood to you. Okay, if you are having any doubt, you can ask me, okay, by sending a message or use our groups for the any clarification, okay, about any doubt. I hope all these concepts are clear. In the next video we are going to talk about the network software. Okay, in this video we talked about the network hardware, and in the next video we talked about the network software. Thank you very much.